Okay. Welcome. I see the artist himself is in the chat. Hey, Gut Bomb. I really like this music. Not even as just a dream thing. Like I've been listening to it. It's like this is really good background music to just have on. I actually need to adjust the audio a little bit. What I need to do is just mute from my amp. And now I can turn up iTunes here and hopefully it'll come through. This is really impromptu because I really need to dial in the audio a little bit more, and I know there's a way for OBS to capture audio directly from an application, and that would be really awesome to do. I would be surprised. I would not be surprised if there's an inbuilt way in OBS to just have background audio playing out to the stream. I'm sure there's some plugin or something, but I'll have to deal with that later. This is really spur of the moment because I just really had the itch to stream. Yeah, I don't really stream from a Mac, but I know on Windows there's some way to just capture straight from an application rather than all of the system audio. Oh no, I'm not on. No, my MacBook has been so unused because the only thing I really use it for these days is video editing. But yeah, I went to go grab it the other day and the battery was dead. So I was like, oh crap. Well, that's bad. Because ideally what I would like to do with the stream setup here is have it so I can have the audio playing, the stream background music playing, but I don't want to hear it myself for fear of it's going to get picked up through the mic. So that's the end goal of that whole setup that I want to do. Anyway, let's get this show on the road. I've been stalling long enough. Because I'm afraid this thing, even though it is, for the most part, fixed, it can still get a little cranky sometimes. So, I was going to do a full video on this thing, but I don't think I'm going to. Well, at least not right now. Because I have another video in the pipeline that I just need to finish working on that I'm still not sure about. But yeah, I have a Shuttle XPC SS30G2, which is one hell of a mouthful here. And the problem it was having was that it would not consistently start up, and it would just power cycle constantly. And it wasn't like a hard power cycle. You could hear it kind of soft power cycling, like it was restarting constantly without getting to post. And I searched long and hard to try and find a solution to this issue. Even putting out a video a while back, hey, anybody out there know what this thing's deal is? And unfortunately, part of it was the fact that the chipset is kind of crunchy because it is using an SIS chipset. But the other problem was that whoever did the recap on this thing struggled with the big ground planes on the motherboard. And I don't blame them for that, because they are big ground planes. Even my soldering equipment, which is, I would say, very middle of the road, really struggled to get onto those ground planes. But I went in there and redid it with much difficulty, and that seemed to sort it out partially. The other problem was the RAM was having issues, because the chipset, I believe, was clashing with the RAM I had in there. So I swapped the RAM out with lower density modules, and it seems to be happy with that. And there was somebody on the Bay Area Discord that actually helped me out with this, so hats off to them for that. Got it somewhat working. The other problem it was having was that it would only want to accept certain era NVIDIA cards. And I thought I was kind of screwed, but it turns out that my GT640 works. So I put that in here from my other XP build. And my XP build is currently awaiting some other GPU that I'm going to hopefully get on Monday. And I'll get that machine back up and running. Then that machine we'll probably stream with, because I need to install Windows Vista on that for reasons. But we'll get to that when we get to that. Anyway, yap session over. Concentrate into one long track, and that's actually a good idea, to be honest. Because right now, I just have them all in a playlist in iTunes. And I'm having it shuffle and repeat. So that way it kind of keeps it a little bit fresh. Like, it's not going to just repeat the same sequence over and over. Anyway, again, let's get this show on the road, because I've stalled long enough. And I hope this thing just first try fires up. Sometimes it needs a restart or two, but here we go. Come on, I believe in you. You can do it. Yay, it works! The Extron's having a moment, though. It'll sort out, though. I hope. Now, this thing takes an eternity to start up for some reason. I don't know why. If I can get this to... I'm good, though. Nope. I also want to thank Commander Keen, a guy from the Bay Area Discord, who actually didn't lend me. He gave me this capture card. God, oh man, the Extron is having a moment. I don't know what it's doing. It's having a moment, though. There we go. It's sorted out. Yeah, Commander Keen, a wonderful fellow, had some extra capture cards he was giving away for the price of shipping in the local Bay Area Discord. And I was like, sure. He's like, yeah, I got a Magewell. I was like, wait a minute. Magewells are really good cards. Are you sure? And he was like, yeah, don't worry about it. So that's what I'm streaming off of right now, is a Magewell USB card. It's really nice. I looked up the MSRP, and I've about had a heart attack. So. All right. And now, oh hey, David Starbuck is here. Hey, David. So now we see if I routed the audio correctly. Let me make sure I have. Yep, I have it turned on. Here we go. Rudiger arrow time! Yay, I did it! So yeah, I haven't really done much with this shuttle because I have spent like the better part of like a year trying to get it to work. The only thing I think I have installed on here is UT99 and UT04. So I want to take this stream to install some stuff on here and maybe give it a couple runs and see what it do. So real quickly, let's look at this. Oh, I've got Quake 3 on. I've done things with it, but we are running a Pentium Dual E2180. So this is like, I want to say this is really early Core 2 era. Ironically, this system does support Pentium 4s. So if I truly hated myself, I could go back to a Pentium 4. I'm not going to do that, however. We are running XP Pro SP3 with the XP embedded theme because I really like blue. All you need is UTO4 and Quake 3. Yeah, for the most part. I do want to install other games on here just to have a good variety. Plus, this is going to be one of my VCF machines. So I do want to have some variety on here. Even though what's probably going to happen is the Quake kids are going to come back and they're going to just play Quake all day. I'll go to Device Manager. We can look at some other specs too. I have a GT640 in here, which, as far as I know, the GT640 was a potato-ass card when it was new. It was a low-end card. I'm gonna say I go with, like, Paul's Hardware, I believe. He's the one who said it. I can't remember who off the top of my head. There was a YouTuber, a tech YouTuber, that said there are no such things as bad video cards, only badly priced video cards. And I don't know if the GT640 was badly priced, but it was entry level at the time. That much I can tell you. And while it might have not been so great for Windows 7, which I think that's what was out when this was... Actually, let's fact check this real quick, because I need to remember things. When did this card launch? This is Kepler 2012, so this was Windows 7, Windows 8 era. Okay. So yeah, it may not have been a high-end card by Windows 7 and Windows 8 standards, but it has XP drivers, which means we can take it back to XP, and it'll be a really good card in XP. And that's exactly what we're doing. So I can go ahead and, just for giggles for right now. For some... What? Excuse me. Why have you forsaken me like this? There we go. That's weird. Yeah, NVIDIA kept XP compatibility for quite a bit longer than they needed to. It's really quite nice. Okay. I'm gonna drop the audio a little bit. Oh my god. Gut Bomb, this one reminds me of, like, the soft rock stations I would hear in, like, The Office while I was in elementary school. I don't know why. I think it's the sax. It's bringing me back. Anyway. You know, we gotta do the thing. Gotta do the thing, right? I'm not gonna do the thing unless I, like, max the resolution. Holy shit. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. I'm pretty sure this is absolutely gonna blow up, but, you know, let's try it. So, the thing with this shuttle, I actually wouldn't mind running a more powerful GPU in it, but the problem with this shuttle is I'm limited to a single wide card, and I need something that's bus powered. So the GT640 was actually the perfect candidate for this system because it's bus powered. It can be converted down to a single wide card because I ended up actually 3D printing a blower cooler for it and attaching it to it, so it does work. But yeah, you're very restricted into what you can put in here, and I've heard Quadro cards actually work decently because they're single wide, but the problem also is the power supply in here is not all that great, so you don't want to really run anything too exotic in here. Anyway, I'm stalling again. I'm just gonna run Face Classic. This is likely to not go super well, because even though this system is fairly decent by UTO4 standards, we'll see.
Play.
It's actually... I mean, this isn't a demanding map, but it is running actually pretty okay. Yeah, no, we're getting some hitches. Pretty good showing for this this system, though.
Red flag taken. Blue flag returned. Red flag returned. Blue flag taken.
Yeah. There's the jank.
Blue flag returned. Blue flag taken.
Whoa! 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 It's not that serious! It's not that serious! Ah, suckers. Damn, that was lucky.
Red team takes the lead.
Anyway. Let's drop the settings just a touch. This does not need to be high. Hey Trek, good to see you. It's got a Pentium dual core, I believe an E2160 if I remember correctly, and a NVIDIA GT640. This is the one I've been posting about x86 in the Bay Area Discord that was giving me a lot of trouble. It's the one Genu gave to me. I was like, what the hell did you do to this poor thing? And yeah, we dial it down to normal settings, and the game still looks pretty, but now we no longer have frame drops like we did before. I can hit the broadside of a barn. Whoa, dude! Where are you all coming from?
Blue flag taken.
Okay, you know, we're not here to play UTO4. I can get sucked into this game way too easily. Yeah. I have this weird thing where sometimes like I'll have projects that I like abandon for a length of time. Then I get a stick up my ass. And I'm like, you know what? No, we're going back. We're doing this. We're doing the project. And then suddenly I commit to it. And that was one of the things I wanted to do here, because while I really want to do the whole Windows thing at VCF West this year, like, it would be such an easy thing to just bring my Alienware and be like, yo, yeah, this is Windows XP, baby. But that's a Prescott Pentium 4 in a laptop, and I don't know that I trust that thing to last 16 hours of constant use. So the shuttle seems like more of a fun thing to bring to VCF, and on top of that, the shuttle I feel like embodies the mid-2000s a little bit more, because it's like, this is a machine you would bring to a LAN party. Remember those? And truth be told, this is kind of me branching out a little bit, because usually my whole bag is like max of the mid-2000s, but I caught a little bit of the Windows disease, and now I've been like building up a PC fleet. Anyway, let's get on to the goodies. So I did install StarCraft. So, in interest of just keeping this simple, I don't have a lot of room in here. Otherwise, I would get a blue SCSI and like a SCSI card and use that as an optical drive emulator. In interest of making this easy, I just decided, you know what? We're just going to roll daemon tools and hopefully it doesn't eat itself. I've heard there's other image mounting software, but I've not looked into it, and this was what was on my NAS. So, oh hey, we have Turok on here. Oh, baby. Sure, we'll install Turok. Why not? I do like the text here. If you don't read anything else, read this. I guess, let's see if Turok runs. I don't think it's going to. I've had issues with it before. Yeah. Wait. Yeah, it's too smart. It doesn't think the CD is in the drive. Even though it kind of is. Let's try the Q file, see if that works. Oh, the Q file worked. Oh god. I'm sorry for the flickering, guys. Oh god, it's terrible. Will it work? Ugh. This is exactly how I remember it on the N64. Yeah, I don't think this is gonna work. I'll have to look into this more. Or you know, Exodium, you could just play the Night Dive remaster and... Boy, I want to. I actually got a pirated copy of the Night Dive remaster, and yeah, I need to buy it. I really do. It's really faithful. I quite liked it. Alright. We are going to say that does not work, so let's get it the hell off of here. Turok is probably better meant for the Windows 98 machine than it is for this. Let's see if Turok 2 has any better luck. That was a fun one. So, I got a fun story about this one. Let me read chat before I go on a tangent. Have fun with the addiction there, Starbuck. Sorry, not sorry. So, Turok 2, like, I remember Turok 2 because, there's a lot of discourse right now about video game pricing because it's been slowly creeping up. Games new used to cost $59. Obviously talking in USD here. And, oh wow, this would run in Windows 95. I forget how old this game is sometimes. But, sure, I guess. Complete. So, there's a lot of discourse going on about, like, video game pricing at the moment. And what I want to say is, like, people are getting up in arms about how video games are costing, like, $70 now. And the funny thing is, I remember picking up Turok 2 close to launch. And that's because my dad liked Turok. Like, he played the original one. And he really wanted to play Turok 2. And I mean, I was on board with this too because I really liked the original game when I was a kid. And I remember we went to Funko Land. And I don't mean Funko as in Funko Pops. There was actually a store called Funko Land back in the day. And they were bought up by GameStop. So they became GameStop. And I remember we went in to buy Turok 2 and it was like $80. Back in the late 90s. God, imagine adjusting for inflation. I don't know if we got bent over by that particular store or something. But it was just like, wowee, that's a lot of money. But it was worth it. Okay. No. Don't forget late 90s dollars. I kind of want to, like, put this to Google real quick. And by Google, I mean literally any other search engine because Google sucks nowadays. Somebody actually did an article on it. Yeah, lots of games were like... There were a lot of games that were, wow. Good lord. That we weren't bent over. Like, looking at... So the source for this article is like a bunch of GamePro articles. I'm going to take them at their word because it kind of jives with what I personally experienced. I'm going to post the link in the chat. I didn't know original Turok was $80 though. Holy shit. I think this is also why this is why the PlayStation won out. Because if I remember correctly, PlayStation games were a hell of a lot cheaper because discs were a lot cheaper. And that was one of the primary trade-offs of it being slower, but cheaper. And it just took the market by storm. I'm sure there were other reasons too, before anybody gets pedantic with me. But I would imagine that was a big draw to the PlayStation, is like cheaper stuff. Yeah, and Sony wanted to undercut Nintendo. Because, yeah, Sony was out for revenge because the partnership falling through. Yeah, so I feel kind of validated in being like, yeah, games are expensive these days. Did you not live through the N64 era? That was bad. Oh, yeah, you could. Just disc swap. Burn a disc and disc swap. I think the primary reason that people didn't do that a lot back then, though, is because I remember burners didn't really become commonplace until into the PS2 era. Yeah, and you could mod chip too. But I know, like, for the home gamer who didn't want to, like, send things out or trust somebody to install a mod chip, they would just do the swap method. Anyway, that little side quest done. Let's do a game. Let's see if this actually manages to work. Uh, huh. Oh, we might be in trouble. Um, um, I'm just gonna go unlisted direct 3D and hope it works. That does not work. Oh, that's terrible. Sorry, guys. Epilepsy warning here. Jesus Christ. Make it go away. Okay, that did not work as it should have. We're just going to uninstall you until I get a chance to deep dive into why you don't work. This might be another game I just reserved for the 98 machine. Okay. Once more from the top. So I'm just out of curiosity, what do you like when you say cheap, how much are you thinking back in 99? I'm not about to launch into a tirade about, "Oh, you're wrong." I'm just honestly curious. Hey guys, let's install Diablo 2, even though I know how that's gonna work out. I don't have it on here though. I have to do the thing. And uh yeah, back then, yeah, you were older than me, so I didn't get my first CD burner until like 2003-ish, 2004, when a one of my teachers knew I was into computer stuff and it's like, "Hey, I have this CD burner that I never used and I'm not going to use because I'm like I just use a laptop. You want it?" And I was like, "Shit, yeah, I want it." Also, since we're installing Diablo 2, this is your obligatory PSA that Mark Kern is an asshole. Thank you. But you know what? I I don't know. Actually, I was gonna say he. I don't know who's more insufferable, him or Pirate Software, but yeah. Anyway, that's enough of a sidebar for this stream. Let's hold a bet on if Diablo 2 runs as awful as it does on the Windows 98 machine. Because even though the Windows 98 machine trounces the minimum requirements for Diablo 2, it still runs like garbage. Also, I would like to point out that OBS is doing a lot of heavy lifting right now, and that you guys cannot hear the constant drone of the custom blower fan I have in this system, because I really need to get something better. Because, yeah, if you're making something or you're putting a fan into something, you really owe it to yourself to test the fan in the orientation that you plan to have it in, because I only ever tested it laying down. And laying down flat, it was quiet, whisper quiet. On its side, it is, I wouldn't say MDD level loud, but we're getting there. Also, I need to do a thing. Just making sure we're not cooking, because something smells warm, and I don't like that. And we're looking pretty good across the board so far. Alright. Let's Diablo 2. I said, let's Diablo 2. Oh, right, they're friggin' toast files. These should still open, I hope. Come on, Damon Tools, I believe in you. Yeah, there we go. I don't think this is going to matter. I think it's going to still want the disk in the drive it originally started the install from. So where is my... There you are. Hey guys, don't steal my CD key, okay? In case anybody's curious, that CD key is out there on the internet. Oh my god, he's pirating! Like, I have bought so many copies of this game back in the day. I don't want to hear it from anybody who wants to be like, you're pirating. I also own a digital copy, so the copyright cops can fuck right off for all I care. In fact, most of the games I have... Actually, funnily enough, I could probably grab a good chunk of my GOG games to install on here, because I think GOG games will install on XP. I should probably consider grabbing some of those. So having a digital copy of, like, Planescape Torment without having to CD swap... Oh, man. In fact, I should look that up. Who cares? That game is like 30. Yeah, but this is Blizzard. This is Activision we're talking about here. The company that is like literally worse than EA. Epilepsy warning, guys. Just in case things go full weird here in a minute. Oh no, he's doing it again. He can't keep getting away with this. I thought GOG games, you could actually download installers for the DRM free games. Like standalone installers, or did they stop doing that? Actually, I'm going to put that to the test. Because I would like to install Planescape Torment on here. But the original version is a 4 CD clusterfuck of a game. Oh no, you can still download offline and yeah, ooh, yeah, you can. Oh, I'm about to have a good time here. I hope the stream doesn't suffer too much here. I am downloading a couple gigs of data at the moment. Dude. Excuse me, what? So I'm going into the download files. They include the soundtrack? What? Why don't I buy more stuff through GOG, I swear. That's actually cool. Alright, anyway. OBS up just in case. OBS looks to be doing okay, considering I'm downloading a bunch of garbage. Oh, we're gonna play this game again. I see how it is. Patch worked, yay. So yeah, for some reason, patching Diablo 2 makes it less strict about the CD. I wonder if they realized that, like, enough people were like, my disc broke, but I still have a valid CD key. I'm gonna be real, things aren't looking too great right now.
Good. No.
I mean, 60 FPS for a moment. Maybe it's not all bad. I'm just gonna mute Gut Bomb's beats for a minute here, because they're getting overrun by the by Diablo's audio.
Evil beware.
Okay, this is actually running pretty okay. It's really weird, like the 98 box should be able to run it like this.
I need mana. I need mana.
What are you running? Maybe there's just something in the way, like 98 hand fibers. Toxic, like just killing shit. Yeah, Diablo 2 runs really well. Let's go one further though. And the offline installers are halfway done. Yay. TCP IP. Wow. Either my router is having a moment trying to DHCP this system, or somehow I've almost burned through my entire IP address pool. That why is it assigning that high? Anyway, there is a reason we're going into a network game. And that's because network games, for some reason, unlock the frame rate. So as you can see, we are at 60 FPS, no skipping. But it's kinda janky. Kinda jittery. Kinda not good.
Evil beware. I need mana.
Yeah, it runs. It runs better. But I'm also throwing like godlike hardware at this thing. But I wonder, with the patch, does it run without the C? No. It would be cool if it did, though. So here's the lovely part about Diablo 2. Once you've installed Lord of Destruction, that is your play disc. You no longer need your original discs. So we could just get rid of those. In fact, I need to make a new folder. Give you disc. Check that real quick. Geez, remember when Epic was cool? But they're still cool, Exodium. They make Fortnite. God, I am just on one today. Yeah, it runs. Good enough for government work. And that's weird. It's still playing the title, the menu music. Okay, there we go. Hey guys, remember the failure? The failure that is Zune? I'm not gonna play anything because I will get shot by the copyright cops. But hey, I actually have a Zune HD, and I will probably bring that to VCF. The Zune is so fun because, like, I think it was actually a pretty decent effort by Microsoft. But it's really unfortunate how, like, it flopped because arguably the main reason, like, one of the reasons I think it flopped was because, like, it was being said by the Apple press at the time that they copied the wrong iPod. Because the Zune, it was copying the 5th gen iPod when Apple was about to just drop the iPod Touch and absolutely ruin everything for everybody else. So the Zune was good, but it wasn't innovative. And Apple was about to basically eat their lunch and be like, yeah, that thing looks obsolete. And I know a lot of people like to dog on the Brown Zune, but I actually really liked the Brown Zune, weirdly enough, because it has this really, like, neat kind of, like, green effect around the borders of it. And it kind of looks cool, honestly. Like, the pictures of it don't really do it justice, I feel. Anyway, the offline installers have finished. I'm going to try and copy those over. Cut software. New folder. But it's really unfortunate because, like, in, like, these days, I really like the Zunes. Like, I would use them more than my iPods, honestly. But after they kind of failed, Microsoft moved to kind of wash their hands of the Zune as fast as they possibly could. So trying to get the Zune software to run on anything newer than, like, Windows 7 is a chore and a half. I had to take a very quick small break. Um, but yeah, Microsoft washed their hands of the Zune, and these days you can't even update the firmware or restore them without doing some weird hackery or running your own local web server to get them to work. And I'm glad that, like, it was all reverse engineered and such, but really unfortunate because it feels like it's really a fight for its life to kind of live right now. Right. That's also really interesting to think back, because like Microsoft tried to compete with the iPod Touch with the Zune HD, but the Zune HD did not ever, like, especially using it now, did not ever feel like an iPod Touch competitor. The iPod Touch is a mobile computer for all intents and purposes. It can run apps. It can do all sorts of little things besides be a music player. Like back in the day, I used mine like very heavily, jailbroken before you could before you had the App Store. The Zune HD doesn't really have that luxury, and the screen is way too small to really use it as a general purpose anything. So it felt weird to me. Alright. No, I said I'd have Gut Bomb's tunes up. Oh, shut up, iTunes. Jesus Christ. So iTunes stopped playing because it wants me to sign in to Apple, my Apple account. It's like, Christ Almighty. I really hate iTunes, but also it's like the only thing that like home sharing works really well for what it is. So, but every time I fire up iTunes, it has signed me out of my Apple account, and it's really exhausting. Like, I have to sign in again. I have to go grab my iPhone. I have to go authorize it. Ugh. Alright. The fact that the icon didn't carry over does not give me a good feeling. If this just runs, though, I will be so happy. One of the other things I'm having to keep in mind here is like, why is this moving so slow? Oh yeah, because I have an actual hard drive in here. A person I know who's local to me is going to be dumping a bunch of SSDs on me next week, so I might throw one in here. I'm going to say that that did not... Oh, there it goes. Oh, I think it's going to work. GOG, you beautiful bastards, you've done it again. I'm still going to keep the disc version around for, like, older systems. But, For Windows XP, this is definitely the preferred method because this isn't going to make me swap a bunch of discs around to play the game. I do also really like how glazed GOG just a little bit here. I do like how they're about game preservation more so than anybody else, it seems. And like have instructions on how to run some of these games on newer systems. Like I think they have links to like a bunch of fan patches for Torment to get it running on like newer, more modern systems. But this should run under XP, no problem. Also, for those that missed it, they bring the mic back around to me here. Because this system has one, I do have a real deal floppy drive in here. Because under the power supply, there is a floppy header. And, I posted this on Blue Sky, but, I really propose there be UXW Bill's law of real computers, where if there is a floppy drive header, you must use it. Does it just run? Does it just run? Yes, it sure does. Mute. Oh, look at that beautiful intro. And yeah, she runs. Remember when BioWare was cool? I'm gonna make that joke too many times. Now, I'm gonna get out of here because I could easily sink a little too much time into this game. The title theme for this game is absolute aces, by the way. Go look it up. Anyway, good to know that runs. I can delete the setup file. Can we go 2 for 2? Deus Ex. I don't know why it takes so long to pop the dialogue, but it's doing. Hey, gut bomb, break the awkward silence. There we go. Hey, boss. Why are you taking forever? I'm sure it's one of those things where GOG or CD Projekt doesn't have the rights to do it. Or maybe they do, and maybe it's just not worth their effort. But boy, oh boy, it would be so cool if, like, for games like this, they made retro installers that actually worked on, like, Windows 98. They worked on, like, period correct operating systems. That would be super awesome, but I don't expect it. Yeah, old computers are. Again, like I was saying earlier, I don't have an SSD in this system because I don't have a lot of SSDs to go around. But thankfully, this Monday, a friend of mine is dumping a few 64 gig SSDs in, which is going to start a cascaded upgrade because I'm going to put the 64 gig SSDs into my older machines. I'm going to take their 128 gig SSDs and put them in the newer machines, and yeah, it's going to be a pain, but it'll be worth it. Alright, I'm going to turn off the audio for this one. Because the Deus Ex title theme is iconic. And I hope I don't get copyright bipped for it, because that would suck. Does this system have SATA? It absolutely does. And I'm currently running a 1 terabyte hard drive off of it, and the CD-ROM drive. My plan is to pull the CD-ROM drive and put that on the IDE bus, either by way of a SATA to IDE adapter or just burning one of my IDE CD-ROM drives, and then run an SSD for the operating system and keep the 1 terabyte drive in there for having a bunch of installers and such. Alright, here we go. Oh yeah, she going. You know what's also fun is I've never actually played through this game. I need to sit down and actually play it one of these days.
I figured you'd be sick of drills by now. Hopefully our training exercises will be more interesting than what they've had you doing at the academy. Open the door by clicking the right mouse button. The right button uses items in the world. The key on the desk opens encryption-based nanotech locks. When you pick it up, it will automatically be added to your keyring. Use the keyring to unlock the door and proceed to the next area. You're going to get a lot of equipment during these exercises. Press F1 at any time to access the inventory screen, which will let you add and remove items from the tool belt. Press F2 to view your current goals and any notes you may decide to take.
Anyway.
On a typical mission, a UNATCO agent's objectives are logged electronically so that
That works. Great. So the GOG installers just work. That's real nice. I love that. Thank you, base to GOG. Anyway, let us continue the quest. One of the things I need to do... I really just... What I really hate is trying to keep things sorted here. Because, for good example... Actually, I wonder... Did I date this other one? We'll check in a minute. One of the things I hate is a lot of my software on here is hybrid. So it sucks for sorting it. Because some games, I have to dip into the Mac OS side to grab them because they're universal. They're hybrid CD images that work on both Windows and Mac. I have to come over here. And where? There you are. Because one of the best kept secrets, which to me is just baffling to think about, is go here. Let's go ahead and just back out to desktop. Full tilt. Let's mount full tilt. Let's install full tilt. Thankfully, we can get around this, I think. I'm not sure why it thinks this computer cannot run it, because it absolutely can. But I believe... Can I get past this somehow? Oh yes, I totally can. Okay, we don't need installers where we're going. So, full tilt. You might be like, Cadet, that sounds familiar. And I know I'm preaching to the choir here because everybody's who watches this knows this. But yeah, if we go to games, hey, here's pinball. It's going to take forever to start for some unknown reason. My Z key is really iffy. I need to deox this keyboard at some point. But, if we go to About Pinball, it says it's created by Maxis. But there's nothing here that would suggest that this is part of a fuller suite of pinball games called Full Tilt. And I think we can just run this. And it runs. But we don't need this menu because we can just go and run it directly. That looks kind of familiar, doesn't it? Look at that! It's Space Cadet! Anyway, we are not here to play pinball. So what's funny about Full Tilt is it actually runs better on Windows. Surprise, surprise. Because this did come from a Mac version. Like I said, it's a hybrid image, so this will install on a Mac. But the Mac version is very bound to your CPU. And by that, I mean it will run on up to, I want to say, a very early G4. Anything past that, it's going to run too fast, and it's going to be unplayable. Windows, on the other hand, it just runs. This is a dual-core 2-point-something gigahertz processor, and it runs perfectly fine. So, it's really unfortunate because I would love to play this more on Mac, but it doesn't run on Mac. At least the Macs I have. It'll run on the 9600, but I'm not getting that behemoth down just for a game of pinball. Yeah, we get more tables, too. We don't get Space Cadet. We get Dragon's Keep, which has gone over here for some reason. And the title bar is a bit glitchy, but don't worry. It still runs. We can still grab the menus. And we can still play. I do not like this table. Like, aesthetically I like it, but I feel like this is the more difficult of the tables. Anyway. Then personally my favorite. Assuming I didn't just crash it by being a little too impatient. Which I think I just did. Control Delete. So yeah, if I try, okay, yeah, if I try to skip this, it's just gonna crash. The power of Windows XP, I can kill apps without tanking the entire OS.
All hands on deck!
Skullduggery. I don't know why, I really like this table.
Man overboard!
Maybe I'm biased because I am kind of an adjacent fan of Our Flag Means Death, but you know, so it goes.
Landlubber.
Anyway. Yeah, Full Tilt Pinball. It's a full suite of tables. And it would have been the greatest advertising opportunity for people to go buy the full game, but no. They just never advertised it for some reason. That's not what I wanted, but you know. Still getting used to this keyboard. Anyway, that can go over here somewhere. We don't need Torment because we got that installed. We are just not going to deal with Turok at the moment. Don't need Quake. That just runs. And now install Unreal. One of these days, I need to play around with Unreal Ed again. I actually have made some maps for Unreal Tournament, but they're probably long gone. Upload them to some site back in the day. Why is UT patch in here? What? That's friggin' weird, dude. I must have been on one when I was organizing this. Alright, let's go. Hmm. Works best with Sound Blaster, don't gotta tell me twice. Hey kids, remember when Digital Extremes was cool? No, I'm kidding. I'm not gonna dog on them. I like Warframe. Anyway, this was before the days of WASD, so we have to go in here. You know, that would help if I maybe, put some bots in the game. Whoa, they're merciless. I really like how you can actually turn items off. Whereas in Unreal Tournament, it's like you collect an item, it's kind of just active until you turn, like, you use it up. Very interesting that the scroll wheel is supported. No way up from here? No. That was violent. Oh, honey, yes. Sadly, not as good as I feel it was in the tournament, but so it goes. Anyway, I'm not here to play a bunch of Unreal. As fun as it kind of is, kind of a little primitive, but it's kind of fun in that. The true test doesn't run without the disk and the drive. Please, please run. Good. The full installer works on Windows, as it should. Because on Mac OS, it does not. You have to manually copy everything over, or it will not work. I forgot which Sim City. I think I need to go back to the drawing board on SimCity because there is a Windows 95 version that needs to be installed. It should actually be in here. Yeah, there it is. Hmm. Inside jokes all the way down. Don't care. Just run it. I mean, it runs. More than Turok ever did. Alright. Don't need UT-99 anymore. Hey, let's try Halo. Halo will run on this. Invalid product key, excuse me. Oh, I'm blind. Oh no, he's pirating again! Except I actually also own a copy of this game. And we are just gonna back out of this because we do need the no CD patch for this. I think this is actually like a Microsoft like sanctioned patch, funnily enough. Why is it... Okay, I was like, why is it running windowed? Oh no,
Capture
guys!
the
My
flag.
IP! This runs okay. It's a little crunchy, but I mean, for the time, it's fine. It does the thing. Hey Garth, hey Joe. Sorry I've not been paying attention to chat too much. Oh, that might be why. I forgot there's a
Capture
frame
the
rate lock
flag.
by default. That's better. That's way better. The animations are a little crunchy though, but, you know, I'll take it. I'll take it. Naming myself your mom might have been a little too much. Let's stick with the inside jokes here.
Capture the flag.
That sounds supposed to be low health. I think it is. Oh, Halo runs. That's cool. I really would like to do a network game at some point. I never really was able to play this game when it was like the shit. Everybody had moved on to Halo 2 by then. As we know, Halo 2 on PCs was not good. Alright. Halo runs good. That'll be nice to have on here. So I never got a chance to actually use this. There we go. Alright. More things, I think. Sure, we'll install Diablo. Why not? So, one of the bygone things of this era. So, for those who don't know, Spawned Diablo is one of the... I don't know if this was a Blizzard thing or if it was more widespread. But one of the awesome things about original Diablo and StarCraft was that you could install light versions on as many computers as you wanted to, and those light versions would only be able to play networked to somebody who has a real copy of the game. So you didn't have to have like a handful of copies of StarCraft or Diablo if you wanted to play on a LAN party. You just make sure one person has a real copy of the game, and you can install the spawn onto as many other computers as you want. And they don't need the CD. It was one of the most genius things I've ever seen back when this game was still, like, newish. Because I remember going over to my friend's house, and they had, like, 3 computers of various ages set up on a network, and we were able to all play Diablo 2 off of one copy. Or not Diablo 2, Diablo. Off of a single copy. That was fast. Holy crap. I'll have to update it. I'm not going to play it right now. Do I have the patch on here? No, because it would have been here. But this is going to be a required ISO. So that will go over there. You know, I could install Myst from the disk images, but guess what? I have a real copy of Myst. Yay. Yep, for Windows 3.1. I wonder if this will actually installed. So we'll test the optical drive. I mean, I know it works. I've installed XP with it. But, yeah. I haven't really played much of Myst either. Cyan are cool, though. They're VNV Nation fans. I like that. Let's see if this will actually work, because, this is getting kind of back there. This is definitely Windows 3.1 coded. I don't... Oh, this is proper vintage. Look at this. Oh my goodness. Do I install this on XP? Or do I grab the actual, like, updated version for Windows XP? This is so old, Garth might be named in the credits. I'm kidding. You know what? Oh my god, iTunes, stop! iTunes keeps locking everything up because it wants me to sign in again and again and again. Alright. Download old version. Okay, does anybody know off the top of their heads what QuickTime would be best for XP? I'm gonna guess QuickTime 7. .6. I will grab 7.6.9. Nice. Garth, did you just take down Internet Archive? Because I went to Internet Archive and it's like, we're down. Oh, that's horrible time. What is going on? I'm definitely still alive. What the? Something, but okay. So something weird is afoot here because not even old version is saving my ass on this one. Maybe 773? Is You know, actually, I have the better play here, because I was going to do it anyway. I'm just going to install iTunes, because that comes with QuickTime. What? Okay. Let's just... go out to the NAS. Windows, XP... iTunes 10. You better install, I swear. Is this 64-bit? And now we have problems. There's a we're gonna use iTunes 7. iTunes 7 is great. So the reason we're doing iTunes is because iTunes comes packaged with QuickTime. And the QuickTime installers, I can't seem to find a reputable source of them at the moment. Usually old version is where I get stuff from, if not archive.org. And guess what? Both sites seem to be down at the moment. Yeah, as you can see right here, QuickTime. So we just get a package deal here. And I do kind of want to futz with iPods on this system at some point, maybe. Because the system does have a FireWire port. Also, RIP Android. To elaborate on that little snark, I guess Google is moving some of Android's development behind closed doors. It's just like, like I may not agree with Rossman on a lot of things, but I do agree on his notion of don't let them get the tip in. Yes, you should open it. You can mine crypto for Blue Scuzzy. um, can I actually? Yeah, I can reach my server from out here. Neat. How are we doing on temps, by the way? Getting a little bit toasty in here. Yeah, we're doing pretty good. All right, that all installed. Rotorbund. I don't think this is gonna work. Can we go down to 256? We cannot. I think Mist is dead. That's unfortunate. Oh well. Yet another one for the Windows 98 machine. I'm not gutted about installing iTunes. I had planned to do that at some point anyway. So, am I blind or is Mist not in here? I guess I have to manually remove it. Fair enough. Bye bye. Hey, maybe if Mist is really crotchety, that'll get me to get a PC I can use a Pico Gus on. I figure we'd save the best for last. I mean, not really, but maybe. So Halo is installed. We don't need that. So, yeah. Another fun game that I totally remember playing but totally forgot about. Divine Divinity. But what's Divine Divinity? Oh, only a game that the devs of Baldur's Gate 3 made before they were cool. I kind of wrote it off at the time because it seemed like kind of eh. But actually, it's actually a decent game. The dialogue is fairly well written. I mean, it's Larian. I'm using Daemon Tools. I do not recommend it, however. Because you have to get an earlier version, because later versions came with adware. I think there's a different utility that's a lot better, but I don't remember the name of it. Or you could just use Power ISO, I believe. Because Power ISO actually runs on, I believe it goes back to 98. I have used Power ISO for free for so much. I really should buy the Pro version at some point. That software, it looks sketchy as hell, but god damn is it powerful. Also, I'm probably going to have to wrap up stream here before too long, because the girlfriend's going to be home very soon, and got to make dinner and all that wonderful stuff, so... This is a fun little stream. I kind of like just letting it roll and messing around with systems like this. I'm still gonna be here for like another 10 minutes or so, I estimate. But I need to do more of these where I'm just like setting systems up, especially for VCF. Because from what I understand, I made a post about this on Blue Sky some days ago. But due to, I guess, there being a really big Amiga exhibit, table space is going to be kind of limited this year at West. But I was told that people with smaller exhibits and do not need to worry. And by smaller, they mean 1 to 2 tables. And all I'm going to need for my like fully realized setup here is 2 tables. Because I want to have the 98 build, I want to have this system, and I want to have the Core 2 Quad system there. So I have Windows 98, I have Windows XP, and then I have Windows Vista. And Windows Vista is probably going to get me shot, but who cares? I want those 3 systems represented there. And then I want space to show off some paraphernalia I've got, like my Windows 7 Party Pack. Because the whole theme is to be, I'm calling it Aero aesthetic. The kids would call it Fruitager Aero. I hate that term so much. But I plan on doing like Aero aesthetic stuff like this, like Vista. So it would be a nice thing to have. So I don't know if these stack. We'll just go for it, I guess. So that's my plan. But originally, they were like, yeah, we're asking people to keep it to as few tables as possible. And I was told pretty explicitly, like, hey, you're probably only going to get 1 table this year. And that kind of kills my exhibit dead. I mean, I could just do 2 computers, but then I have no space to, like, have any of the fun stuff I plan to have. So I'm, like, kind of in between a rock and a hard place, because, like, if I'm going to have to do 1 table, I'm going to bring my G4 cube and just do the hell out of the cube. But if I can have 2 tables, then we're doing Windows. So, as of current, I'm kind of developing both ideas in tandem, so that if things do not go according to plan, I can switch ideas over and not be completely fucked. There's a big rush on Amigas. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, like, there are people in the Amiga community I like. And I mean, they're all in the Bay Area server. But I get the feeling that Amiga, like the Amiga community at large, has main character syndrome so ridiculously bad. Yeah, I need to image. Well, I need to image this hard drive because I do plan on moving it to an SSD at some point. So I do have to image this. These are required ISOs. They need to go. I don't think install needs to be here, but I'm gonna play it safe. What are we looking at for, oh. Oopsie. Unmount. So let's see, what are we looking at right now? We are properties. So we are only 52 gigs in. This would easily fit on a 128. So we're looking good so far. Do we got time for one more install? I think we do. I think we do. We can install Serious Sam. Why not? Where did they ask us now? But yeah, if the windows don't pan out, like, I know somebody who's willing to lend me a cube. So I was gonna, like, double up the cubes and just roll with that for my exhibit and be like, my exhibit, Power Flopintosh, contribute to Apple's greatest failure of the 2000s. But I mean, I would call it a successful failure. It went on to inspire the Mac Mini, which we still see today. I mean, it became the Mac Studio. That whole, like, line of computers was inspired by the Cube. So it really kind of comes down to, yeah, it failed, but the lessons learned went on to live on for a very long time. But yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and, like, this is a good break point. I think I'm going to go ahead and end here. So I want to thank you all for joining me on this lovely journey. And let's do the ending. And yeah, feel free to hit that like button if you think this was awesome. Maybe subscribe if anybody's watching this who is not actually subscribed. I don't know why you would be here. Until next time, I will see you guys later. Bye for now.